live and set up. So let's click resume and get back into the game. Now what were we doing last time? We had just gotten drones set up, and we had also been working with trains. So the goal for today is to make a bigger and less terrible base. So the plan is to use trains more rather than like strictly a main bus. And I haven't 100% figured out how to do that, but I generally know how trains work now. So, step 1 is going to be setting up a train station to accept the raw resources. And actually, hang on, let's get rail into the hotbar somewhere. So let's see how this has to work. So we're gonna head up here and probably just build the factory up here. So we have a bit of a train line like that, and you can put gates over rails. That's good to know. And then we are going to need to, I guess, just set up this stuff. So let's grab those stops and grab the train. So this is going to put those in there. And so the train is going to go and stop there. Then this train is going to loop out, and I actually need to grab some grenades to get through that tree line. So let's run down here, see if we can find some grenades. Alright, grenades, where are you? There you are. Let's grab a stack of those and head back up. Alright, so this is our train stop up here. Now we just have to blow up all those trees. And some rocks as well. Alright, that should hopefully be enough space for now. Alright, how do you... Ah, I see. You just click and then drag. So, if the train line goes up like that, and then we need to get even more trees out, aren't we? All these trees have to go. So the train goes up like that, and actually, how do we want this train to go out? I think we want to use this space for building, maybe? I don't know. Well, so what we need is let's actually just build the factory that's going to be based off of this area and then see what happens there. So we want a whole bunch of inserters. And apparently that's all the inserters we have, so we're going to have to run back and grab some. So let's run back, grab some inserters, and finish that off. Although I probably don't need that many. I'm not entirely sure how many I do need. Alright, let's grab a whole bunch of those. And also another stack of those while we're at it. And do I have electric furnaces automated anywhere? Is that something I can just run over and grab more of? Because this first bit is going to be ore processing primarily. So I'm going to need some electric furnaces. If I have them automated anywhere, that sure would be nice. Here they are. Let's grab a whole bunch of those. What are these drones doing? Oh, they're picking up spare belts, I guess. Sure, that's fine. You guys can do that. We need to get them be faster and preferably set up better with more of the different types of resource so that I don't have to do all this running back as much. But this is fine. Alright, I just realized I also have this. But I think the extra space away from the main base over here will be good. So we have all of these inserters. And then we have a belt and a belt. So let's just run all of these in. And again, no idea how many inserters are needed, and the math is hard to do because the inserters are dumb. But so then if we just do something like this, then this would give us 2 halves of a red belt worth of ore. And if we blow up some trees. So both of these are going to get put on the far side. So if I actually have this one go this way and go in like that, then this will give us 1 full red belt of ore. Probably. If it doesn't, then we'll have to figure out what that means. But then I can place in some furnaces. So this is 30 items a minute, whereas a furnace is... I actually don't know how fast that is. It's crafting speed 2, but I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to head over to an actual furnace that is operating and see what it says. So let's see if we can find some of those. Okay, definitely run a bit off the wrong way here. So if we head here, the copper ore furnaces are like 0.5-ish with productivity modules. So if 0.5 and this is 30, then we're going to need like 60 of them to use a full belt of ore. And that'll give us more than a full belt of copper. Alright, that is a lot. But I think we want to set that up so that it does work at that high capacity. So what else am I going to need to grab? I need more furnaces, because I have 51. So let's run over here and grab some of those. And we're also going to need to... We're going to need to do something about the defenses on that corner, because they keep getting absolutely hammered. Are things still all good up here? Like, is this getting repaired? Yes. Seems like it must be. Because it said it was damaged, but it isn't. That's a good sign. Alright, so now we head back over here. And, oh no, they're actually hitting the bottom corner. That's worrying. Alright, so we're just going to leave that be. It's obviously being dealt with to some extent. So, we need 30 furnaces in a reasonably compact setup. And the first thing that comes to mind would be 2 rows of 15 or 3 rows of 10. I guess we could go like 6 rows of 5 or something. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try to be compact here, use this space. So we go there, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I guess we can use all this space since this is not going to be used for anything else really. So that comes along that way. Then it goes up. And how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we would need 3 rows like this, and then this is also going to need an output belt. So this gets its output belt going that way. Then the input belt continues along and goes this way. Then we get more of these for our second row. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Physical projectile speed increased. What else is there? Advanced combinators. Sure, let's do that. Alright, so then we take the input belt, we run it up a little bit more. And wait, no, because we have to get the other output belt in. So that is going to be this row here, which is going to come down and combine up with that. Meanwhile, the input belt goes along up there and meets up even more of these. Alright, so let's get all of these in. And how many is this? 30? So that would be, that's like half of a belt. Alright, yeah, a full belt is a lot, turns out. Alright, is there a better way of doing this without this weird zigzag? Probably, but I don't see it. So, Then this gets its output belt. Actually, can we just copy this? If I just... Alright. Never mind. Let's take this train station out temporarily so I can copy it more correctly. If I just grab all of this, say, and I just pop it in up, I don't know, here somewhere? Is that gonna work? So we have the input belt. No, it's not. But it's probably close though, right? Probably close. Alright, so let's get rid of those trees that are in the way. And try to paste this again. And I think we need to leave a little bit of extra space in there. So just do that. And all those robots are going to round, and we've finished that research. So let's take research speed. Research going faster is always good. Alright, and this is all just gonna be getting built. And it's gonna take ages because I don't have that many construction robots on me at the moment. Alright. And then also, in addition to that, this is all wrong, right? Because although we could fix that, I think we can make this work, potentially. Alright, so the drones are not the fastest thing in the world, but they're also definitely not the slowest thing in the world. Actually, is there a limit to how many of these? Yeah, so this can manage up to 10. Yeah, okay, so that's fine then. But we are probably going to need to restock on belts soon. Alright, let's go stand up here, get the last couple of these done. Alright, so now we have this built twice. And if we just pop that in, then this can become the input belt again. And which one of these is the output belt? It's this one. Alright, so that comes over there. And then that comes down, and we're going to need more belts. So I see a massive biter wave coming in from the west. Let's just grab some of these that are just sitting around here. We don't need the green ones, though. Alright, massive biter wave seems to have passed. Cool. It's nice to see the defenses are working properly. And then I should have put in all the inserters and stuff before pasting this. Now I'm gonna have to place in just an absolute billion of them. Alright, I'm actually gonna need to grab more inserters. And we're also gonna need to do power, which hopefully won't be a nightmare, but it probably will be, let's be real. Alright, so those inserters all go in. Then we just have to go across and get these ones. And yeah, I definitely should have come up with a more copy-pastable setup here. Alright, so this is all going in. And then all of this goes in. Don't want that one to be off-centered and weird. I want them all to just be like this. Okay, so then we are going to need to put in the output belt for this top row as well. Like that. And let's see here. Which of these is the output? So that is the output, which means that is the output. So if I have this go along this way, it should work. Alright, and we're going to need to change that around to get some space. And then this output belt just comes down here. And I guess it just has to do that. Which is not ideal, but it's fine. Yeah, let's head back and grab more belts. We are just about to run out. We're down to 18 belts, which is definitely not enough. So let's head back. And I should see a small swarm of drones trying to feed the belts to me. But I'm just gonna grab some manually. Alright, where are you guys all headed? Who knows? Could be anywhere. So we're now going to head back up and hopefully finish this little design thing off. Alright, so these... I need more... I should have grabbed more inserters while I was doing that. So let's just finish the belts first. So we have our input belt, which goes around there. It goes to all of those three, and then also splits to go around there to all of those three. Now we have our output belt, which comes around there for all of those three. And then there for all of those three. So we need to get this topmost row onto the output belts. So that goes in and just comes down there. And then our two output belts can merge up. And actually, I think I want this to be headed up. Because I think I want this to output the resources to the other side of this whole area. And I think that's how we do that. Alright. So yeah, then we would have the output trains up there. But for now we need to basically finish off all of the inserters and put some power poles in. And then we're going to need two of those, well, three of them actually. One for each of the ores and one for the stone. Let's grab more inserters, grab more inserters. This doesn't seem to be outputting for some reason. Something seems to have broken. Don't know what that is. Oh, is this not getting... There. Needed that to go in. We'll just fix the long-handled inserters real quick. And then we head back up to this. Alright, lab research speed has improved. Inserter capacity bonus. Sure, let's get that. Certainly not going to be useless. Alright, this one is slightly off-centered, which is irritating to me now that I've noticed it. But we're just going to ignore that and place all this stuff in. Alright, so all those go in. Then we get all of these. And we just keep on going up. Just keep on going up until we are done. Alright, get rid of one extra random tree that is in the way. And that is all of those. So now we just need to power pole. And actually, there's these substation things. How big do they cover? Frankly, not big enough, probably. Yeah, so we're just going to have to use regular old power poles for this. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we just have to do that. And repeat that for every row. Alright, so that is that. And yeah, this is going to use a lot of power poles. This is going to use a lot of power poles. Also, something's gone wrong there. That intermediate spot didn't get covered, I think. Also, we seem to have forgotten the inserters on this side. So let's put those in. Alright, so those all go in, and then let's stop back again for more power poles, and I can't wait until we have drones set up to properly do this. In fact, we should probably leave that on pause and get everything possible connected up to drones. Just because all these trips back and forth are not very convenient. So I have a whole lot of these provider chests, right? So I can clear that out of the hotbar, put that in the hotbar, and then just you get to be a provider, and you, and you, and you, and you, and we already did regular belts. Let's do those as well. Let's get grenades in. And we're gonna have to place drone ports in various locations to get all this working. But hopefully it'll be worth it. Okay, then let's also get ammo set up. And assemblers. And pipes. And fancy pipes. And probably those I may as well use those as well. And those are a building. And alright, the passive provider chest can provide passive provider chests. And the drone ports can transport drone ports. Renegade, hello. Thanks for stopping by. We are setting up a drone system right now. And sort of struggling, to be honest. It's not easy. So I guess we just have to put these down everywhere. Alright, that one is apparently already close enough to a drone port to be covered. That one isn't, so you get a drone port. And any other provider chests that aren't in the drone network. Yeah, these guys. So you get a drone port. And we already covered those ones. And then this is back to there. Alright, so now, if we just add more of these requests. So I want to have 100 of these at all times. And I want to have just 50 of those will be good. And let's see, let's get some fast underground belts in. Just so I have a couple of those. And basically just going through my hotbar, putting everything on. We want 100 of those. Sure, why not? Then we want some stuff from over here. So we want electric furnaces. Let's have 50 of those. And we want assemblers. So let's get 50 of those. And I'm not sure about the numbers, but this will be a start at least. Alright, is there anything else in this category that I want? Yes, I want pipes. Probably like 200 of them. And I guess I'm going to want underground pipes as well, but probably only 50. And what else is there? There's fast splitters. Again, don't need that many, but I do need some. And what else? In this section, what else do we want? We have all this stuff. Railway, I guess. Pretty sure I've automated railway somewhere. Not sure where, but we're going to have to find it and put a provider chest up to it. Then all of this is stuff that I haven't automated. So then we go to this row, and do I want solar panels just constantly on me? I guess. Just like a stack. And same thing with accumulators. And I want productivity modules. Those are always useful to have. And then I want ammo. And I want grenades somewhere. Where are the grenades? There they are. Alright, so that is all in. And so we need to... unfulfilled requests. So I think we need to still put in the provider chests for those things. Potentially. Or no. Looks like they are all getting brought. Alright. And then these guys are doing all sorts of stuff. I don't really know what exactly they're doing, but they are flying about, doing drone stuff, I guess. Alright, I think I actually... So they want to give me 100 ammo, but they're accounting for the stuff that's already in the gun. So I think I want 100 more after that for loading turrets and such. And then I need to probably run over here. And yeah, power seems to be a bit of a crisis at the moment. So let's just ignore that and just bring the drone network up here instead. Alright, so you get a power pole. Alright, 10 entities are missing construction robots. I'm sure they are. Oh, it's this corner up here. And it looks like my personal supply filled them in. That's nice. The chem plant making a box of solid fuel. What, this one? Yep, that is a thing that it is doing. I don't really know what I need that for, but may as well have some. Alright, so this is going along, and it is technically filling, but consumption seems to be very close to production, which means we need... Yeah, because this is definitely not going to fill over the course of the day. If you need power, you can do solid fuel to steam power. Yeah, I guess. I could do that. I was planning on just like placing down a whole bunch more solar panels now that I have these drone robots to help with the placement. So let's see. I have some solar panels in my inventory. So let's actually head over and grab more roboports to bring some over to that area. Alright, these guys are still running about doing whatever it is they want to be doing. And we're just gonna ignore them, I guess. Alright, so we head over here. And how many roboports do we have? Got another 10. Actually, let's have the roboports transport roboports. That'll be fun. So I just want to have, again, just a couple of these on me at any given time. And then we head back over this way. Alright, so we're gonna head over. We're gonna head over here and see if we can set up more solar power, or maybe we could set up a steam power blueprint type thing. Probably not too hard. We do have that solid fuel after all. So let's see about doing something like that. So we have this box of solid fuel, which we're gonna need to get this out of this mess somehow. Just, I guess, down like that, and then over this way. Alright, then you can just go out there. Apparently you need power. Alright, so now we have solid fuel on a belt, which we can run up to past all these trees, apparently. Sworn I'd already deforested this area, but no. Alright, so now we are over here, and we do just have a water pipe here, which is probably moving more than enough water. I think these things create like an absolutely insane amount. Yeah, so that should be fine. So let's remember how we actually do that. It's like boilers and steam engines, and it's like 61 boiler per 2 steam engines, I think. Just looking at those numbers. So let's get a whole bunch of those. And we're going to need to figure out how you craft steam engines. And they just need a whole bunch of plates. Okay, let's actually have just a couple 100 plates on us. Copper 2, just so that when we need to do this sort of thing, we have the option. I'm going to need to find a box of those things somewhere. And may as well be here. So there you go. Actually, don't even know if this is the real factory or not, but it should be fine. And they're out of Roboport range, because of course they are. So they get a new Roboport. And so that should probably fill up my inventory with those things, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff, which is apparently just taking a while. I don't really know how the Roboport works. Like, do they transport physical items from one port to the other? Or do they... Yeah, I don't know how that functions exactly. But it seems to be working. Let's craft some steam engines. Okay, the bots go in there for recharging, but then they have to probably stop at all these boxes individually. But they only store repair packs. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Man, this is very satisfying to look at. I don't think it's really fast enough at the moment, but it is sure convenient. Right, and unfulfilled requests. There's still a number of them, but should be fine there. So we have our 8 steam engines, 12 boilers. So we need more steam engines. So let's just craft a whole bunch more of those. Get these guys delivering again. And yeah, what is this belt? Is this the real belt, or is this something else? I think this is the real belt. As in, like, it's actually being supplied and it isn't about to run empty any second now. So that's a plus. Alright, so all that stuff is coming through. How many of these do we have now? We have 17 of those, and we would prefer like 24 for this batch of 12, but 20 will do for now, I guess. We do have to actually set up a blueprint worth copying first. Also, is this whole thing in a different logistics network? Yeah, so this one isn't connected up properly, so we're going to have to just do that, I guess. And send a drone over there. Spiders still attack every so often, but it's probably fine. Alright, so now we head up here. And is this standing out of the logistics network? Maybe. So let's just put another one in. And now it definitely reaches up here. Alright, so we need to set up this whole boiler thing. So we get a boiler which takes in water. Yeah, I did a little bit of that, more so just attaching it onto my earlier coal setup rather than like intentionally doing it. So let's say we get, yeah, I had a power crisis and I realized I had oil lying around, so I was like, oh, I'll just send some solid fuel in there real quick. Alright, so then we merge all that up. Inserter capacity bonus has increased. That's cool. So I guess next we'll take power armor, I guess. And so we have 4 of these, so that would need 8 steam engines. And these can just chain across, right? So let's see if we just go, I'm trying to get this to be compact. So if we have that, and we put the steam engines in like there, and then connect that across, then this should, in theory, all work. And I just realized I placed this at long inserter range, which I guess is fine. Alright, so all those go in. And now we just have to power these across. And then power those up. And finally we just have to bring the water pipe in. And there we go. So that is a thing which exists now. If I just neaten this up a little bit. Okay, I do want this to be regular inserters for the actual blueprint. So let's take all of that down. And just go regular inserters. And we also need, I forgot to actually set up the ratios right, so we need more of these. Was it going to fit? It's barely going to fit. Alright, so that all goes in like that. Then the power comes across. And the pipes go there. Gosh, being able to place things without being within range of them is incredible. Construction drones are great just for that alone. Alright, now this just goes up like that. And did I place these backwards? I placed these backwards. Of course I did. Alright, so now all of those get attached back up. And this should be good to go, right? So this, assuming we have enough fuel, then this can just produce a whole significant amount of power. Now, let's see if we can do this right. So we blueprint, we get all of those, and save this as steam power. Sure. And then if we just blow up some trees real quick, get rid of all you guys, get rid of that rock as well, which just mining it would probably have been easier. That was a lot of grenades. Then if I actually, what's the button to use a blueprint? Did I not save that properly? Oh, it's in my inventory? Alright, that's weird, but sure. Alright, so then if we just attach that up, then we should get another one of these going. And just get the power poles in, and the last couple of those. Hello, you missed one of the pipes. Did you just forget to do this, or what? Sure. Alright, I will place the last pipe manually then. And now we should have, I actually don't know how much power that produces. It's apparently a decent chunk. So now we could go up to 44 megawatts. It doesn't say how much the maximum of this is. Yeah, the robots are heavy on power. Yeah, I figured as much. Alright, but we have all this, and is this in particular danger of biters? Yeah, sort of. Alright, I guess we should probably figure out how to defend it. Why is this not filling up with piercing rounds? Nest taking pollution in Northwest. Yeah, that one has been there for ages. We're gonna have to deal with that at some point. Alright. Oh. Seems like they may have gotten through to a turret. Down on the south. Let's head down there and just make sure everything is fine. It's been a while since I've checked. This area is kind of a nightmare. Alright, it should all be within repair pack range. And yeah, it's... Alright. Productivity modules on electric miners is interesting. Could you explain why? It seems sensible to me. The resources are limited and getting more resources per resource seems good. All these ones, yeah, this is an old patch that's mostly dried up, and I haven't quite bothered to shift things around slightly to fit into those. Yeah, I could, but I don't know. I have other iron patches at the moment, so seems like deconstructing stuff will be a job for later. Alright, so this... How is this all going? We have a serious steel crisis still. What is going on with the steel? Why is there just consistently so little of it? Wait, is this entire thing just run off of these? Oh, coal is having issues. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's go figure out why that is. Coal, coal, coal. Ah, so yes, these first three have shut off. Now that is a bit of a problem. So we're going to need... Where's the... Do we even have any of these pre-built? Okay. So we'll tear these up and use them. And where are they? Here they are. So let's get a bit more coal out of this. We're going to have to move to another coal patch soon, probably. Like, this is just the tiny starter coal patch that I've been running this entire thing off of this whole time, and it's obviously not doing so hot right now. There's another big patch over there. Bigger, I guess. Still not enormous. And is that just like... Why is that just like right next to my oil? Should I go poke those, see what's going on? Let's go on a bit of an expedition. Alright, so we run over here. And time to go see what those suspicious little red dots are. So I just realized this whole thing is in the way. So I guess I'll just poke my way through and put that in. Fill that in behind me. Actually, do I have any gates on me at the moment? No. Alright, well, I'm not leaving myself a super fantastic retreat route if this goes wrong. But I think this is just these sorts of guys, right? This shouldn't really be a concern. Just get rid of them with some grenades. And that is dealt with, if it was ever a problem. Now we just have to deal with the horrible acid, I guess. Alright, so we have more or less set up like the very basics of a drone network. What we need to do is go back to designing the base version 3.0, which I think is... I'm not fully decided on whether I want it to be a bus or not. Also, what's going on here? We have no green science. That's why our power armor research is stalled. And that is because a whole bunch of red splitters got into here somehow. Because of course they did. How did that happen? So it looks like... Okay, I see what happened. I see what happened, and I don't know how to fix it. So we need to get only the right side of this belt onto that belt, which is actually something that I've done. So let's first just see, does the splitter just naturally do that? No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. Thank you for catching that. So we get that in. And one above needs a yellow inserter. Alright, cool. There we go. Now back to the green stuff. So we need to get... it so that the other side of this... So that only one side of this belt is going into there. Now, how do I do that? Wait. I know a very easy way of doing it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so if we just go with the old use filters. If we just do that. Oh, right. Now it wants to put it across onto that side. So that's not going to work. So what we need is... This is absolutely horrific. And I know there's definitely a better way of doing this. If we do that... And we... whitelist yellow inserters there. And then we clear those belts out. That technically works. There's got to be a way of dividing the left and right half of the belt. But the fast splitters don't seem to do it. So I don't know what it is. But this works. This technically works. And the fast splitter seems... The fast inserter seems more than fast enough to keep up. So that should be fine to get that going again. Alright, science has been restarted. And that's just going to have to go along like that. And now we go back to up here. Alright. Actually, that might be a bit more of a problem, because I don't think I have logistics auto repairs in that portion. I might, though. Actually, we have this one, which is probably in range. Yeah, this looks fine. Alright. Everything is looking fine. And the drones are stopping by to do random stuff. Good for them. So let's head back up here and figure out how this works. So we have all this, and then we just have our trains, which I guess, are going to loop up around this. This is not very compact, but that's probably fine. Alright, I do want these trains to line up better. So we have this, which is the output belt. And it's gonna go along there. And then we have a whole bunch of inserters, which are going to insert onto a train, which will go there. Get rid of a random tree. Alright, how do we... So that's too sharp then, so let's take that out. Still too sharp, I guess? No, it just really wants to go one further. So if we just take that out, and put that in, then those connect up. And do I even want those to connect up? I don't really know what I'm doing with trains. Do I want this all to be on one train track, or do I want them to be able to do separate things? I think I want them to do separate things, actually. Or, no, I think I probably do want them... I just have no idea. We're going to have to set it up and then figure out if it works or not after the fact. So, we can bring this train track down. And alright, lots of new tips that have been unlocked recently. Should probably look at them at some point. So let's do that. E to confirm. All the green buttons in the game can be confirmed using E. Alright, good to know. Gates can be built over vertical or horizontal rails. And that's helpful. Ghost Rail Planner. So you can hold shift while rail planning and control to automatically avoid obstacles. And then copy paste, which I already figured out. Alright, so we need to figure out how to merge two bits of rail up, I guess. Well, actually, I don't want to, do I? I think I want these to be like going next to each other or something, so that they can meet up later. What? No, don't do that. Don't do whatever just happened. Alright, so if you just go like that, maybe? Is that even... Alright, so something like that. Okay, but then there is a bit of a gap. There's a bit of a gap there, which... Oh, we finished power armor. That's fun. So then the next thing will be... let's do production science. That'll be a fun thing to research. Probably won't get around to actually doing any of that for a while, but may as well have it researched. Alright. So how does that work? So you can just sort of build splits off like that, I guess. Power armor needs processing units, which I don't have. So we've unlocked some new types of combinators, I guess, since I last checked anyways. What was I doing right? Rails. Is there any rail signals and fluid wagons and stuff? All seems very confusing to me. Alright, so for now, I think we just have this. And let's see, actually, where is the nearest? The iron patch is down there. I haven't gone far over that way at all. Alright, so I need to find... I guess I could technically just take some of this iron and send it over there. Sure, let's get you set up. And then this belt can come over here, and this is mostly just for testing purposes. Alright, it's fun seeing a massive swarm of robots all approaching all at once like that. Alright, so then these guys need to... Actually, we need to put the rail in like that. And then I guess the rail is going to need to actually loop around. So it's going to have to get through all these trees. Let's just blow those up. And get those ones for good measure. Alright, and more deforestation. Get all these guys out of here. And may as well get those ones up there. Alright, so then how do we need this to wind up being? We need this to wind up being something like this. What's the giant X for? So we need it to end up something like that, which means that this needs to turn more sharply or go further over this way. I mean, you would expect something like that to work, right? Maybe if you just give these more space. So it'd be really cool if this could combine into that. Yeah, and then I guess we don't actually need all of this because this is just a loop at the end of the thing. Alright, so that is a solid connection there. Now this belt needs to go over like one more. So let's just put a whole bunch of those in. Put a stop in. What? Oh, right, the stop goes to the side. Get that, and I don't actually know how many of these we need. Probably not like the 10,000 that I have per car here. Let's go with like 3 per car, maybe. And I don't know how to feed this one. Can you feed cars on an angle like that? Who knows? Well, let's at least have 3 functional cars. So we then just power all of that up. And connect that in. And that, no, that's wrong. Needs to go up to there. Which means it needs to go one little step further and then up. Alright, so that is all in. Now, I think I have a train. So the train goes there. And we get 2 cargo wagons for now. And, alright, that's weird. Did I put these ones all in facing backwards? I did put these ones all in facing backwards. Alright, so we get all of those. And this is definitely not using a full belt of iron ore. We did finish production science, so that's nice. And there's all sorts of fun stuff in here to unlock. But for now, let's just do mining productivity since it's something we can actually do. And let's make these guys all faster since they seem to be going somewhat slowly. Actually, this is probably a job for bulk inserters, and also this needs to be coal or some sort of power, doesn't it? So I need to get power up here. For now, I can... How do I fuel this manually? There, have some solid fuel. Alright, then we need to set up its schedule. Oh, we actually need to finish these train tracks going across, obviously. And so they're going to have to go something like that. And this is sort of horrible to look at. Definitely not the most gentle, stable curve there. But we make the connection. And yeah, we don't need all of these. We just need some good old-fashioned fast inserters or bulk inserters, if I had ever bothered to automate these. So let's get fast inserters, and probably just like, oh, the first one is the engine, and it doesn't need that. Alright, so now let's power all this up and connect it back. So that is all powered up. The train is ready to go. Now we just need to tell you to go to Vard whatever, wait for full cargo, I guess, and then go to stop is inaccessible from current position. Oh, so we're just gonna have to go backwards, but that's fine. So we're just gonna have to swap the way that this train station is facing. Because I built this going from left to right, but these trains apparently go from right to left. just take that out. And put you in like so. And then a drone will go over and pop that in. And now it's called some other person's name. So now, if we come down here, we should be able to get this all set up. Obviously not going to be Zeus C2 anymore. And empty cargo. And that should be all good. Ooh, big attack just hit right here. And you can see the repair bots are going about their job. How long this is gonna take forever. If we wait for the cargo to actually fill, so let's. Okay, the back one is actually already filled. So then it goes up, and there's no way I'm gonna make it up there in time to investigate what happens. But there we go. And we are outputting cargo. Alright, partial success. We're only outputting onto one side of the belt, which is not what I want. So, let me think. I know how to fix this. So first of all, let's just stop this, because this is all just going to fill up, because the machines aren't actually running. So, that is filling the back of the belt. So we need this to do something weird. So if we take all that out, if we run this way, and then connect them up like that, and then we put them in, then we get all of those working over time, and we just need to place enough of these to fill up the whole thing. Which looks like it's that. And then obviously this is not, I never quite finished placing all these power lines. So back to doing that, I guess. And we're just gonna run along, placing power lines everywhere there is to place them. And this probably is causing we're probably missing some stuff, right? But we'll be able to tell once we manage to get this all connected up. And we can see what's connected and what isn't. Alright, actually it looks like we might have somehow miraculously gotten everything, which is wonderful. So then, the only step is getting all of those set up. And so now we have this theoretical steel plate train to deal with. So I need, or iron plate, not steel plates. Although speaking of steel plates, that is the resources I need at the moment. And also, you don't have to be mostly empty like that. You can just chill. Alright, so now we head down and we find some steel plates to make some train stops. Alright. Steel plates. Still not doing great on the steel plate front. But I have enough to craft a good couple of those. And looks like the drones are making some inputs. That is fine. It's very, very handy to just have my resources constantly filled up like that. Alright, so let's head up. Was there a hint about trains with identical names? I could have sworn there was that. Train stops can share its name with other stops. Trains with that name in the schedule will be able to target any of the stops as their destination. You can set the train limit for each train stop to control this behavior more precisely. Okay, so if I just like label this train stop iron ore deposit. So if I call you iron ore output, and I just save that. Now, does changing the name of the train station change the names that are saved in the trains? So like, is this guy gonna get confused now? No, he knows what he's doing. Cool. Alright, so then if I just name all of my train stations that use iron ore output, which I guess theoretically would probably only be this one, but the point is more for things like iron plates where we used a lot more, then that could be very simple to set up. I'm not going to stand on the tracks because then I might die. Alright, so then the next train station goes in, and so it has to go on specific sides of the tracks based on which direction it's facing. That's weird. Feels like hitting R should be able to rotate that, but sure. Alright, so then we get that in, and the little drone goes off and places it down. Alright, so now we have all this, and if we... Now this is obviously gonna cause problems because this is on the same track as the iron ore one. So like, this train is gonna be stopped here for a while filling up, which I really don't want it to be. So I guess we need to, if we just very simply do something like this. Buffer chests for loading? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'm very much figuring this out one step at a time. So right now if I just do that, yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about there. But now, why is this all messed up now? Yeah, okay, so that is a good point. Alright, so what I need is I need to space this out slightly differently. So first we need to take those power poles out. Take that belt out. Gosh, those biters just do not let up over there, huh? So, what we need is probably bulk inserters. I should definitely automate those at some point, but now we're just going to manually craft a couple. So these should be able to send a lot more over. Alright, so we have bulk inserter, and they take from just a chest. Where do I'm pretty sure I have some. How about passive provider chests? That can kill two birds with one stone of getting this stuff theoretically attached up to the drone network. And then those are going to be filled by do bulk inserters work for this as well? Guess we're going to find out. See if anything unique happens when I place those in. Alright, so that then goes. And you guys just need to be powered up. Alright, so that definitely does fill these guys up pretty quick. And if I need more than a single bulk inserter, then what do I do about that? I guess I could do some weird stuff with... I could probably figure that out. I could probably get another one or two in. Alright, so then we have to go back to figuring out whatever's going on with all this. So that can hook up there, and that's fine. No problem. But then this needs to come down like that, and that doesn't look great, but I think it works. So now if there's a train in here... Gosh, they move fast. I'm used to satisfactory trains, and these are much, much quicker. Like, these guys absolutely zoom. Alright, and then we're going to have to do buffer chests over here as well. Which... Alright, so this has to all come out. And... Alright, we're probably going to want to use more train stops at some point, but... Alright, so all that comes out. Then we get... We only have one bulk inserter left. Alright, let's head back, grab more resources, see if we can very quickly automate bulk inserters. I will do that. Let's see, what is it? It's fast inserters, 2 types of circuits, and gear wheels. I don't think I have all of those at the same spot, although I might. Did I ever... Oh, I did put the... Oh, no, I didn't put fast inserters onto the bus, though. And if I go back here, I don't have the advanced circuits. Alright, so where do I make the advanced circuits, and can I just pull them over in some horrible, disgusting manner to automate that? Alright. No, also we are in desperate need of advanced circuits anyways. Because we're in desperate need of green circuits. Where do I make the green circuits? Is there something going wrong with them, or is it just slow? They're all the way back here. And not enough iron plates. Oh, because I'm messing around with the iron plate supply with those trains. So that's what's happening there, at least partially. Let's just confirm that there is also some other unrelated problem with the iron plates. Yeah, so this was all still set up with old burner furnaces, which is not ideal, but they seem to be getting enough coal, so that should be fine. Alright, so let's just manual craft a couple of them, and just for this current phase of things, it's fine. Alright, so now let's head up here, and we need to get those buffers in. So we get, I guess just iron chests would be fine for this, because it's not like it's anything fancy. Also, did not take into account how long it takes to manual craft these things. So those go like that. And then this just very quick and dirty like that. And then we get one of those in. And eventually we'll have crafted all this ridiculous amount of green circuits to get the other one in. Also, while I have just random iron ore in my inventory, may as well throw it in with some other iron ore so that it doesn't get wasted. And there we go. So now we have that, and we're definitely... Right, we have the problem again where we need to fill both sides. So... keep forgetting that that's a thing you have to worry about in this game. Alright, so we just do this. And then like that. And then I guess we can just shift this around so that the split happens up here. And like that. Okay, so it looks like single bulk inserters aren't enough to deal with a full belt. So I am going to need more of these. Which means I really need to grab more parts. So down we go. And gotta grab some circuits of various types. And I think I will just do a very slapdash automation for these, since it seems like it's going to be the thing we need a lot of going forwards with this design. So we go over here. These are the red circuits. And we're just going to jam a splitter on there. Take these around. These random inserters are just like accidentally in the perfect place to potentially cause a catastrophe if I just casually build a belt along them. So let's make sure that that doesn't happen. Alright, so now we bring this along here. It's going to have to go up this way to avoid being in the way of all the science stuff. And then it needs to go down this way a little bit. Get rid of some extra trees. Let the robots repair all the stuff caught in the blast radius. And then immediately blow it up again. So now I can build this belt through those trees. very careful to dodge all of these other random belts. And now we're in approximately the right area. So let's get... I actually don't even know what this needs. 2 types of circuits, gear wheels, fast inserters. Gear wheels, check. Fast inserters, check. Circuits, check. Circuits, check. Alright, so yeah, we can just put this, like... Get rid of that tree. Oh, a turret ran out of ammo. How did that happen? All the turrets should be auto-feeding. Alright, so where is this turret which ran out of ammo, and was it temporary? I guess it was temporary. Probably something just ran out of yellow ammo, like this one hasn't been firing much since I was using yellow ammo. So probably just something like that that just had to get briefly swapped over. Alright, and massive swarms of bots harassing me with copper and iron plates. Alright, and back to what I was doing. Alright, so we put you in. And we run those up. It's very, very easy to lose track of where exactly the engineer is in all of this sort of absolute chaos of the screen. Alright, so we just get all that set up. Power pole, bulk inserter. And that should be... How many gear wheels do we need? A lot is the answer. An absolute ton. Alright, so we're just going to output those directly to one of these, and then you can be small. And when I placed these in, it didn't mess with these settings, right? It did. Good. Alright, so we have one of these making theoretically like 1.5 a second. Probably not actually that many. Let's make that faster, apparently, since it seems to need the help. And is this running? Yes, we now have a couple bulk inserters. And so let's add those to the list of things to bring us. And it's just going to provide us with its entire stockpile for now, because obviously we hardly have any. But that should be good for, I mean, until we start placing down hundreds of bulk inserters all at once, obviously. Alright, so now we go up here, and we have this whole thing. So if we get just 2 bulk inserters in, and give them their corresponding iron chests, and I just realized I was standing dangerously close to the tracks. Don't know how close exactly you have to be, but I don't want to find out. Alright, so now we have no idea if this is filling up because the train is over here at the moment. And it is filling pretty well on this side. I mean, we could probably stand to do the whole bulk inserter thing over here as well. And with buffer chests and everything. So let's do that, I guess. Alright, so step 1, all those guys go out. Step 2, we get like 2-ish bulk inserters per belt. Then these aren't actually belts. These are chests. And then this is a belt. So it goes up there. And move the power pole a little bit. So we go like that. And then these get their bulk inserters. And that should be all sorted. Let's just remove this pointless belt. So it looks like it's doing something when it isn't. Alright, so that should all be good. Are we receiving more bulk inserters at any point? Doesn't feel like it. I mean, we're down to 1. Also apparently not receiving more train tracks. Did something go wrong with the stone supply, maybe? Or maybe we're just because we're on the other side of the planet from them. Alright, so let's head over to make sure that nothing has gone horribly wrong over here. Oh, that's because that is an iron chest and not one of those. And then you also get a drone port. And we should see a whole bunch of drones coming along to get this set up. There we go. And the stone is still looking mostly fine. So one of them has run out, but the rest of them are all doing okay. Now let's drop back down to look at these, and short on gear wheels. Somewhat to be expected. The iron shortage that comes from sending most of our iron over to the experimental new factory is continuing. Frankly, this iron production is not all that spectacular to begin with. Alright, gear wheels are a huge problem right now. Can we... yeah, so I assume that these are just... The very first one is just taking all of the iron available. Yeah, that's not great. That is not great at all. So what we need to do, I guess as a temporary fix to solve this temporary problem, would be to somehow get the iron from this thing down to there, or just put more iron into the system would also be fine. Also, this thing is still not filling up. How is it taking this long for this train to fill? It's gotta be close now, right? Oh, I guess because they're filling that box as well. Yeah, alright, these boxes don't need to be filled quite so much in the short term. Maybe in the future we can fill them up to that extent, but for now, it's not necessary. Also, you can have all that stuff. So I think I just got dropped off another bulk inserter. That's funny. Good to see that they are still theoretically working, at least. And now this is filling up. And pretty quick, too. Alright. So that is going along. And that this train should leave any second now, so I want to be back over here so that I can see. Oh, it's so fast. It's ridiculously fast. Alright, so is 2 bulk inserters a full belt? Apparently not, but it's pretty close, so that's nice. So I guess we just need 3 then. How many bulk inserters does it take? 3 certainly should be enough. I mean, 2 is very close. Also, I'm out of bulk inserters, so you can be a fast inserter for the moment. And there we go. Now, eventually the other side of this is just going to fill up, right? Because these are just getting put into these boxes. Yeah, so this is actually just about to fill up. Well, drone port can go in that convenient little area. So now this can supply my own personal iron plates when I need them. And then we need to get these iron plates actually doing something. Alright, so in order to do that, what we would need... Actually, this does look like it is to... Oh. That needs to actually go onto the... So this looks like it might be a full belt's worth. So now we just need to somehow... I mean, ideally, if there were a convenient, easy way to attach that back into the base just for the short term, I would love to do that. But I think the answer might be that we just have to like mostly just write off the old base and start building everything new from scratch. But thank you for the inserter. Appreciate that. So we could just take down all these burner furnaces and replace them with the new stuff. But that would require like either running a belt all the way from up there down to here or doing something else. So I think we're just gonna let it be and just build from scratch up here, and that bit down there can just do whatever it does. And I mean, eventually it'll, well, it won't quite saturate probably because it's still producing stuff and it's still producing science as well. But eventually it'll get bored of producing most of the things that it produces probably. Alright, so now we have this. Now we have this iron stop. So we call you iron plate input. And so now we have this. And we have what appears to be 2 boxes full of those, although as we've learned we're going to need a bunch more. Oh, I keep crafting new chests instead of picking up the ones that I already have. And what was it? Was it 3 total that we figured out was enough? Yes, 3 total. So now we go up here, and that side is still under attack. We should probably go deal with those biters at some point, but I think that'll probably be tomorrow. Alright, so let's just get these going with fast inserters just so that we have something. Fast inserters are still pretty good. So they're just the same, but they don't transport as much per pass, which is fine. Alright, so now we have plenty of output going into these. So we just need to send all of this stuff into a train, which I need to craft probably. Where's the train? Locomotive, cargo wagon, and I never put up steel into the list of things that I have stored. I should go do that. So ever so slightly messing with the old base, but we're making slow and steady progress on not needing to worry about it anymore. Oh, hey, look, a bulk inserter. Thank you for that. Alright, so then we head down here. This is connected to the actual steel, so we can just pop you in there and power you up. And you don't need more than a couple spots. And there we go. Now I can add just like a stack of steel onto the list of things I want to have. And that will be quite helpful. Alright, that's all good. I had some thought, and then I immediately forgot it, so we're not going to worry about it. So, the next thing is to head up north and make, I guess, gears. Also, now we have to deal with the constant low but non-zero chance of getting hit by a train whenever we're working around our base. Alright, so we have all this set up. And we have a train. Yeah, need more iron ore. I am very much aware. The problem is really that a lot of the iron ore is going into this area. Alright. Oh yeah, the modules. That's a good point. I think that's what I was thinking of earlier. So it's productivity modules are the ones that we use for this, right? Alright. We also need to figure out how to actually fuel these trains long term, because I just gave it a stack of power. Yeah. So we need... There's got to be a convenient way of copy-pasting these into all of these machines, right? Also, what's the productivity module 2's? There's required processing units. Hold the module in the cursor and control click. Got it. Yeah, that is wonderful. Alright, so now we just have to do all of those. And now we're out. With blue chests, you can have the bots bringing fuels to the train stop. That is good to know. So there is something like that. I hoped there would be. But we haven't unlocked that yet, so I guess we'll just have to deal for now. Let's head back, see if the productivity modules... Let's see if we have spare productivity modules. We might not, because this base is very much struggling. Alright, productivity modules all the way over here. Oh, this isn't powered, and now apparently the grid is failing. Fantastic. Just what I needed. So let's see. It could be that steam power we set up ran out of fuel. It is nighttime after all, so it's not terribly surprising that something like that would happen. Alright, so head over here. Is it a fuel shortage? No, there's still plenty of fuel on these belts. It's still producing. Yeah, it's producing plenty fast, apparently. So we just need more physical power. So we have 2 of those. Now let's just clear out more of this stupid forest. And get some more in. That tree managed to survive. That tree managed to survive. And some machines are getting caught in the blast. That's what repair bots are for. Alright, so we're going to have to offset this a little to avoid the lake. But these just go in there and there. And then that one has to get filled in because I didn't set it up properly. And then that needs to go over there. And that needs to go over there. Alright, so power should be improved. Just have to, I guess, just stand around here for a little bit while the bots get all this stuff figured out. A whole lot of placing to do. And the biters continue to attack that same area. Alright. The bots seem to have mostly stopped running. Is that because of a shortage of boilers and steam engines, probably? Yes. Alright, so those can all start going in. Why did you place the furthest one first? Alright, we're going to need restocks on other things as well. Yeah, they literally placed these in like the worst possible order. So they've placed every single one that doesn't start any of them working, and now we get to start some of these functioning. Alright, so then all of those are in. And we need to pick up some more resources for crafting. So we head down here. And here's a drone port. There's tons of iron plates in this, so it should autofill me, right? Let's just grab a couple stacks manually, craft those up, and there's every drone on the planet is coming along. It looks like copper is starting to have problems, but not seriously. Alright. If we get processing units, we can get productivity modules 2s, which would be nice to have ahead of time, but now we're just gonna stand here and let all the refills of all the various things show up, I guess. This is just like the most satisfying thing imaginable, just all the resources coming in from all over the place. Eventually these guys will all get sorted out. almost at mining productivity 2, which will be nice. Get those resources coming better. Alright. So there are not many drones left, which means either... Alright, so yeah, looking at the unfulfilled requests, looks like we're mostly done. It's just a bit of iron left over. Alright, so now we head back up and finish constructing those things up here. So we get the rest of these in. And there we go. Now how's the power grid? Maximum consumption. What is, oh, the electric furnaces are spiking like crazy. Good. That's a lot of power going to electric furnaces, presumably because of all of those productivity modules I put in there. I don't think our steam engines are going to be able to keep up with that. And let's see, as the solar panels die out, I expect that the steam engines will hit a cap and the accumulators will start running, which means we need even more steam power. Alright, how is this going? Yeah, the steam engines will be charging the accumulators too, which is nice. This seems to have stabilized at around 13. It looks like we might barely... We probably, if this is like the stable level, this should be enough for it to last through the night at least. But we're also going to be placing a whole lot more stuff. So I think let's... Yeah, the solar is definitely easing the steam use. And I think let's probably just even put in more solar. So if I just head over here, and how many solar panels do I have currently? 50 solar panels, 50 accumulators. So, if I just first I want to finish off this partially completed row. If you're planning on doing nuclear, I'd recommend starting on it early. Alright. I am not sure if I plan on doing nuclear. Probably will, but I haven't really looked into it much at all. But for now, let's just copy... Actually, hang on. The way I want to do this is I want to copy one of these completed rows here. So if I just copy this, just this entire row, including the power lines, then I place it in, and I'm going to have to zoom out like crazy to line this up right. It's probably still going to be wrong because there's that single row there. But those can go in, and we need better personal drones. You can just put in another one, right? I need to pick up a bunch of batteries mostly for that. Conveniently, the batteries are relatively close. Can I get through these? No, I cannot. Alright, so now we head over here. And gosh, everything is so weird zoomed out like that. Alright. So where are the batteries? Further up this way. Pretty sure they're right here. Grab some of those. And make one of those and see if I can adjust that whole that whole inventory situation so that those function. Actually, can I start making processing units? It's both types of circuits and sulfuric acid. I have sulfuric acid somewhere. Don't know where, but it's somewhere around here. There's the sulfur. And if I just get processing units, it would make a lot of things a good bit easier. Alright. Let's... because it would give me power armor, and it would also give me some other stuff too. Mining productivity almost done. What are you guys just hanging around for? Charging, I guess. Alright. So, sulfur is there. How do you even make sulfuric acid? Do you make it from sulfur, or do you make sulfur from sulfuric acid? Alright, so if I get sulfur, iron plates, and water, I can make sulfuric acid. So I have sulfur there, I have iron plates somewhere around here, and I have both types of circuits. So if I just get a water pipe over here, I can make processing units, and then do all sorts of fun stuff. So let's grab this random water pipe, and let's see, it's going to have to go underground past all that. And then underground past that. And then we just bring this over here. Alright, I got jostled by a tree and everything got messed up. Alright, so just keep taking all of this stuff, all these trees out. And I don't know how far to the west I have to go. Is it around here? Yeah, right around here. So we just have to bring this across, and then down this way, across the battery belt, and down over here. Alright, do I have chemical plants in my inventory? I have oil refineries. Don't see any chemical plants. Where are you? Just gonna craft a couple. So we get those going. We have the occasional robot dropping off pipes. Love to see it. And, alright, did I make one of them already? Yes, I did. Alright, so you go in, you make sulfuric acid, which just requires that. And then we need to get the sulfur. Alright, so the sulfur, check. Was it iron plates and... It's iron plates, right? Why do I keep forgetting this? Yes, iron plates. So that's this belt here, which we can bring up and around, and then across all of that. And then it can just go into that. Alright, make sure to turn properly. Alright, sulfur, iron plates, and water. We have sulfuric acid as an output. And then this is just both types of circuits and sulfuric acid. So we get That's a chemical plant, right? I should have checked that immediately. No, it's in an assembly machine. Alright. Fair enough. Forgot that these can even have fluid inputs. So pop you down. Tell you to make a processing unit. And rotate that way. Alright, then we bring that across. And it's technically wrong. Yeah, have to take that apart and try again. So we need you to be out like this. So you can go up there and then in. And let's get all that stuff powered up. Still nothing being destroyed. As long as nothing is being destroyed, that's fine. And then we need to split some off of this belt. And that comes up. And then over. And that is processing units technically being produced. And we just power that up. And mining speed is finished. Or mining productivity, rather. Alright, so what is going on in all of this stuff? Uranium mining? Sure, let's do uranium mining. I'm sure nothing could go wrong from that. It was recommended to start nuclear early, so we're going to do that. Alright, then production science pack is rails, electric furnaces, and productivity modules. Yeah, that's definitely something to worry about in the future. That's getting way ahead of ourselves in terms of what this horrible mess of a factory can do. But for now, we do have all this. And what is the limitation here? It is green circuits, because they're all getting used for these. Every single green circuit instantly goes into this. Which is a problem, especially considering this is absolutely nowhere near finished. So let's make this even tinier. It looks like apparently one does slip through the cracks. Yeah, processing units are... I've been putting them off for a while. I've assembled this absolute mess of a thing. Why is there gears on that belt? Are there supposed to be gears on that belt? Oh yeah, that's just a belt with two different things on either side. That's fine. It's not a concern. So we just need to send just like an infinite number of those off. I could have sworn I had, yes, productivity modules. And I really should have... Oh, because that's an end product, so I can't productivity module it, right? Yikes. Well, we technically have some, so that's something. And I just need 40 of them. Hello, Science Cyros. Yeah, just need 40. I have 5. So I guess that is just going to be a thing that it works on every so often. And in the meantime, these are all productivity moduled up. There's not really much I can do about the horrible inefficiency of iron production at the moment. So there is, I guess the one thing I can do to solve that is there is this iron patch down here. I could go and grab that, But I'm building this whole train-related system up here, which should theoretically make all of that, like, this entire factory unnecessary. And everything I'm doing right now is just to help get through the delay until that is online again. Also, I was like halfway through placing a blueprint of solar panels, and then I sort of got distracted by other things. So let's head over here and get all these guys in. Alright, solar panels are being placed. And then I have to get the bottom half of this as well. There we go. And as far as this is going, looks like the steam engines, as usual, they boot up as the solar panels go down, and then the accumulator will probably start working at some point in the future if we keep increasing production of various things. Alright, let's head back and try to set up just like iron gear production in the new base, so it's not just solely an iron plate refinery. Alright, how do we get around all this? Go around through there. And then we go to the new base. And are there any biters up there? Yes, there are biters up there. Alright, so I should... Now that I've realized that biters exist and could potentially attack from that direction, I need to abort what I was doing, grab some walls and some turrets, and set up defenses. Alright, so walls can be another thing that I just want to have a certain number of. So walls, just have me always have 100 walls. That'll be fine. So these drones can have fun with that. And then turrets. Did I ever restart production of turrets? I don't think I did. I should do that, and it's going to take more stupid iron plates, and it's going to take ages to happen because of it. But I really should have some turret production somewhere. Alright, let's just... And what is it? It's plates, 2 kinds of plates, and iron gear wheels. Alright, so we get copper plates from there. We get gear wheels from there. We can grab iron plates from here, I guess. And then these all line up like that. This should just shift over to be a line like there. And just get this set up. Like that, and power pole, and connect it down. Alright, so you are turrets. You are now cooking along. So now we just output to there and stick it all in a box. And we want to have some number of turrets on us at all times. Alright, so that is theoretically set up, except for the fact that 0 iron plates are ever making it through that gauntlet. So I think this is enough of a problem that I should just finally get around to fixing it. So how many miners do I have? I can make 10 more if I grab more gear wheels. So let's just sit there, grab some of those. Grab some of those. Alright, so let's get those crafting. And there comes a massive resupply of plates. And we ran into a pipe, so let's get around all of this. Alright. Are we still being attacked from this direction, or did we clear that out? I think we mostly cleared that out. We are going to have to go down there, and it's probably going to be close enough to these biters to cause problems. Well, nothing to do but get it all set up. So we head out through this wall. Let's make it be a gate so that we can do that in the future. And because we've been messing around with trains a lot this stream, let's mess around with trains some more. So we get that in, and we get a train stop there, and then let's use some of these. Alright, this first one doesn't need those, because that's where the engine itself goes, so those ones get the train stops. And then we just need to hook these up into a belt. And alright, so that is good. And we just wait, no, it's not, because we need the buffer. We need the buffers to keep this going. Alright, so we get some iron chests, and they go in like that. Now we put these in, and they just all go like that and get powered up. Now that attaches up to a belt, which, how do we connect this all into the iron? If we just connect it into those belts, does that work? No, those are Mark 1 belts anyways. Alright, let's run this up here. And let's just figure out where the iron is coming from right now. It's all in this area. So we just have to get like straight into the most densely built part of the factory. That's fine. Alright, so that goes through here. And then up. And then this has to come around. And I think this is a good line. Might have to move some of those power poles, but yeah, so this power pole in particular, let me guess, the entire factory is reliant on that one power pole. Yep, of course it was. So why wouldn't it be? Ah, it's so silly. Alright, then we just need to make sure that this uses the full belt once it gets there. So that can go in like that. Okay, also that apparently was reliant on it. Alright, then all that stuff down there is just old stuff that I don't need anymore. Alright, so we have that. And yeah, the power poles are very funny. Like, the amount of times in which it seems like every single power pole in the entire factory is just absolutely essential. And it'll all completely collapse if any power pole at all gets destroyed. Alright, so let's just bring this rail down. These are my little defensive structures from when I blew up a biter nest around here. There were turrets in those boxes. So this rail just has to go down. And we get rid of some random wilderness. Alright, so now we are... Sorry about that. Now we are approximately here, so we just need to set up the whole setup on the other side. So we get one of these. And which way was this whole thing facing? I think... I actually just have no idea. We're going to have to figure out and flip one of these around once we figure out which way they face. And then this has to turn and then head back up, which we will deal with later while we're here right next to all of this. We go 1, 2, 3. Okay, this needs to be longer and straighter, I guess, in order to fit more trains in. Alright. Get the trees out of the way. And then this just goes... Gosh, how do I make those line up like that? Alright, then we just take that extra bit out and fixed. Alright, so then we need to keep it up with the bulk loaders, and these load this up, and probably 2 trains will be enough for this. And then we need some more boxes. Let's just craft a good chunk of them. And then we put all these boxes in. And we get this set up again. And we run that across. Alright. So that is the basics of that. Now I just need to get all the mining drills in. And how many do I have now? Like 14 once this is all done. Not enough to get this entire patch, but probably will be enough to at least resolve the shortages in the short term. So these can all go in. And I think I'll blueprint this. Actually, I can leave space there, right? I think I'll blueprint this for later, so that I don't have to constantly be doing this. Why is there a giant space there? Because of that rock? Alright, rock, get out of the way. Now the spacing is all messed up. Alright. So then you all come out, and I don't know how I didn't notice that when I was placing these the first time. Must have been just completely zoned out. Alright, and apparently that is all of the mining drills I have for now. So let's just get all this stuff built up. And into this. Alright, so now we put power poles in. so. And like so. Then these ones get power poles. And we're going to probably need to wall this whole thing off and give it turret protection. Although I don't really have ammo to do that for now. Also, I want to not build the wall. Well, I guess I want the wall to be spaced far enough that you don't end up cutting off portions of the actual stuff that we care about, the iron. So let's take all these trees down, and based on that biter nest being the closest, I would imagine that we only need to get like the southeast corner of this. And if I'm wrong, then that'll be a good learning experience, and we'll just have to come down here and rebuild it, which shouldn't be that big of a deal. Alright, so we have the wall in, and I don't even have the resources to like properly automate the turrets, or even all that much ammo to fill the turrets with, but we can get a couple turrets in. And let's see, these two on the outer edges can just get this random yellow ammo that I have. Meanwhile, this one can get proper red ammo. And hopefully whatever like first initial attack they send can be deterred by that, and then I can come back to defend more properly. So now we just have to finish off the train tracks. So these go up this way, and we're going to need to form a loop. I've gone along the wrong sides. So I guess I have to loop around the other way down here. Or, wait, I just had an idea of how I can fix this relatively easily. Alright, so that goes into there. And then this is the one that comes out, and I'm out of train tracks. I have 9 left. I have to run back into logistics drone range to get a refill. Drones are pretty slow. Drones are pretty slow. But here they come. You can see the train tracks coming up from there. So I have 9. And then this batch hits, and I have 184. It's remarkably efficient. Alright, so we're just gonna wait a little bit more for the slightly slower ones to come back, and then we're gonna head off and finish this up. Alright. Now we head down. And this track loops around like that. And combines up to there. So then that doesn't exist anymore. That connection gets made. And let's put the train in. See, do we even have a train? We're gonna have to craft one. Alright, train crafted. Where is it? There it is. Alright, so you and 1 cargo container and 2 cargo containers. So first off, fuel. Do I have any fuel for you? I have 43 coal. That'll have to be enough for now. So then schedule, add station. Oh, I should rename these. Can I rename these from here? Yes, I can. So this is iron ore output. And we're going to give that the same name as the other one for consistency's sake. And then go down here and call you iron ore input. Like that. And so now the train goes to output and we'll wait until it's empty. And then it will go to the input and it will wait until it's full. And set it to automatic. And it should start making the first bit of the journey now. And I just realized I still never automated big electrical poles, so we're gonna be making this journey down there with the medium ones, which is still not terribly long, so it should be fine. So this just goes along. I think the biters shouldn't attack just like random railways and power poles. Alright, so that is powered up. And that is powered up. And we have iron producing and going in. Alright, so that is gonna start. So then we just need to grab more electric miners so that we can actually make that reasonably quick. Because it's going to take absolutely ages for that iron ore to show up at this rate. So we head on up. And time to figure out what we need. Oh, well, we can just grab all of these, can't we? That should be easy enough. So all of these have been fully used by this point. Except for that one, apparently. That one is still trucking along. Good for you. Alright, so we grab all of those. Let's grab some of these pre-used ones as well. Alright. And now how many of those do we have? Alright, now we're up to 31. Which should be at least good enough to make a significant start on filling all that stuff up. Alright, so now we just head down and place all of those in. Alright, almost there. See on the mini map. And there it is in person. Alright, so let's actually take that out and blueprint this. So if I blueprint that and I name it miner row, then if I just set that up and set that up and set that up, then theoretically that should just all work and give us a good solid amount of ore production here. And it's not 100% perfect, like we're missing a bit around the edges, but the main bulk of this ore patch should now be mined, assuming I have the miners to do it. Which probably should craft up a couple more. And let this finish. Stand a little bit over here to be more central. We'll speed it up a little bit. Alright, then are we really going to be... No, we're going to produce this last one here. And place that in. And then get those 3 just so that they aren't awkwardly sitting there without any belts. And then this is all going into one side, so let's fix that. So now we're using both sides of the belt. And should fill up pretty quick now. Alright, so that should be that. First one is already filled, the second one is in process, and then obviously we have all these buffer chests to fill as well. Do I have any iron? Just taking up inventory slots. May as well throw some in while we're standing at this. And these are going to take forever to fill up. So let's just send off some iron to begin with. So we do want these buffer chests to be filled or mostly filled in the future, just for convenience purposes. But for sending off this first batch to speed up production of like turrets and stuff, I think this should help a lot with that. So now this is getting basically a full belt's worth of iron sent into it. And it looks, just based on casual inspection, like 3 bulk inserters might barely not be enough. But there might be... Actually, if we look at the tech tree, are there more inserter upgrades that we can grab at the moment? Yes. So we can grab another inserter capacity bonus, which should, because it looks like right now these are like just barely below, but with one more capacity bonus then they should be able to be just barely above, so that'll be probably our next research. Alright, so that train is about to be filled, so we're going to head back so that it'll probably beat us there if it starts moving soon. Yep, there it's start moving. You can tell on the mini-map. And it did beat us there. We had like 80% of the trip as a head start, and it was still just way faster. Alright, then we need to set this up properly. So that has to go like that. And that has to go like that. And then that all feeds into that, and we're good. Iron has been supplied with an additional belt. And hopefully that should mean that this is a full belt forever going forwards, and all this stuff should be mostly functional. Although we might even need more iron production than we have here. It's a definite possibility. Alright, so there we go. Now all of these furnaces are going to be on, and our poor coal supply is not going to be happy that we haven't upgraded these yet, but it is what it is. Our supply of all the iron stuff is still pretty desperate, honestly. Like, we are definitely not fully keeping up here. but this should help. And look, the iron is even backing up just the tiniest bit here. That's great to see, honestly. It means that there is some slight hope that we will eventually get ahead of all this. And the resupplies of all of various things are definitely helping a lot as well. Just being able to stand here and not have to worry about constantly picking up more, you know, power poles or whatever. The drones are incredible. And we're also getting ammo resupplied as well, which is nice. Did send most of our ammo down to that new area. Alright, yeah, so this is getting a whole lot of iron, and some of it is even making it through, so the turrets can get produced. That's nice. Now, circuit board production is still very, very intensive, but at least it's mostly keeping up now. So yeah, that added boost of iron ore helped a lot. Alright, where was this resupply going? Mostly done. Mostly done already. Just a couple of stuff that we know it doesn't have, like the turrets. And a little bit more ammo. There we go. Ammo dropped off. A little bit more plates. So the thing is, we don't need a huge amount of turret production. We're going to set that down to 1 box. How is the processing unit going? We actually have a lot. We have enough that we just need to pick up some electrical engines to get power armor. So let's run over and do that just before we end the stream in a moment here. Alright, electrical engines, where are those? This is them over here. Yep. Well, I'll grab some of those, and power armor. Apparently it's going to take ages to manual craft. But should be getting there. Should be almost done, and power armor crafted. So now we can equip that, and we're gonna have to redo all of our armor stuff. So let's take all this junk out of the modular armor and just fill in the new equipment grid, and just very lazily just tossing everything with shift click. That is that. So we need to fill up our batteries, I guess. Personal drone ports are apparently very battery intensive. Who would have guessed? So let's craft some more portable solar panels and see what happens there. Also, how's the logistics network even going? Okay, so that one up there is apparently not connected, obviously. Network 4. How do you see how many available robots? 1,000 logistics and 118 construction, apparently. It's pretty good. And I assume those are all just going into these various things. Yep. Alright. So we throw 3 more solar panels in there. And it looks like they are charging very slowly, but we're definitely going to need a whole lot of these little guys. So those are 2 megawatts each. So that's 4 megawatts. That's a little bit extra. And that's basically nothing. And then each of these are 30 kilowatts, which is not huge. But I guess it's better than nothing. So let's just craft up a whole bunch more and fill up our inventory with them, because I think it might be necessary, because like this is all going to break when night comes and they aren't actively producing. We're going to need to be able to fill up the batteries. And we might also need additional batteries. We'll see on that front. But it's been a nice, solid, productive day. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I had a lot of fun. And I will be back playing Factorio on Thursday from 2 to 5 Eastern Time, just as usual. If you're interested in other games, I play Satisfactory on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 to 5 Eastern Time. So basically any weekday, if you stop by then, you should be able to see me. And thank you so much for the follows. And yeah, so that is about it. I will see you guys then. Bye.